Hello and welcome to Keyword Cheat Getting Over Google Hummingbird Lesson 2. In this lesson, I want to talk about how Hummingbird works, what's the technology behind it, and what makes it so special. So let's get started. Hummingbird is the new Google. All the earlier updates that we've seen on Google in recent times, including Panda and Penguin and all the others, they were actually tweaks to the main algorithm. The main algorithm was just improved a little bit, and the core, the PageRank system was maintained. It was still the same. But Hummingbird is a very different move by Google. Hummingbird is a replacement algorithm. It keeps only some of the old formula, and it changes too much of the old formula. It changes too much of the old code with new algorithm code, with new factors of search. Earlier, of course, PageRank was the most important factor, and other factors were added on as Google gained experience. But this time with Hummingbird, there are over 200 factors that determine ranking, and contextual and semantical analysis of the content are the most important factors now. This is the most important change. Google is now actually trying to understand what is in your content and how it relates to the world. It's like a real person trying to understand what you're talking about. That will help Google deliver much more accurate results. That will help Google serve its visitors much more better. And in this lesson, we will see exactly how it works and exactly how it will create a revolution in the search engine technology market, or in the search engine world. Let's understand what Hummingbird and semantics mean, or what semantics is to Hummingbird. The word semantic means something related to the meaning of the word. And Google is trying to understand that meaning. Google is trying to see beyond the arrangement of alphabets into the meaning, understand what the content actually means. Till now, Google was basically a database of text, and Google search meant searching that text for occurrences of the keyword that you were trying to find. And basically it was all about the arrangement of the alphabets, or the arrangement of the characters that powered search. But now Google wants to understand the meaning, and it will use this understanding, or whatever limited understanding of the meaning it has, to give you more accurate results. Which means the results will not just be limited to the keyword that you're looking for, but they will reflect the understanding of the keyword itself. That's why if you want to be found, it is important for you to enable Google to understand your content, to let Google understand your content. Because if Google understands the meaning, it will give priority to it over the content that it doesn't understand. It's very important to understand this concept. If Google has a basic understanding of what you're talking about, and there's somebody else whose content Google doesn't understand so well, it's going to give priority to your content, because Google will think that this is nearer what the person is searching for. This is nearer the query. So make sure that you take all steps to be understood by Google. And in the coming few lessons, I will tell you exactly how to do that. The second step after building a semantical understanding of the content is, of course, placing it in context. That's what Hummingbird does next. It tries to interrelate the content with all the other content that it has access to. It tries to understand the relationship between concepts and to place it in the proper context in the world. Google is trying to understand exactly what you are trying to talk about in order to give you filtered and suggested results. Results which are not just about the words that you're searching for, but the ideas, the topics, and the things. And the result will also widen the concept of search or of your query, because the results from Google using this technology will feature content other than the keyword, which means you will get access to content that you might not have searched for, but which is totally relevant to what you've searched for. Just like in the real world. And that raises an important question for the webmasters. If your website is not a part of the context, if it's not semantically understood, you are going to lose visitors because Google won't know the meaning behind the content, and it won't be able to relate your content to all the other pieces of content that's on the web. And any website, any competitor which enables Google to gain a semantical understanding will be placed in that context and will gain all the viewers. So it's important to be a first mover, it's important to be a fast mover and bring your content to Hummingbird, make it understandable by Hummingbird. Now let's talk about how do context and semantics change search, or how does Google's understanding of semantics and placement of content into context changes search. Now I've given you a little idea in the past few slides, but let's talk in detail about this, and let's talk in detail about how exactly it would change the way people search. Now till now, you are trained to search for word combinations online. That's what we've been traditionally doing online on almost all the search engines. Look for keywords. But that's not how you work in real life. When you want to know something in real life and you think somebody else would know about it, you ask them a question and they would then give you a detailed response about it, maybe some facts and some ideas that you were not aware of at all, or that you didn't know you needed to search for. That's why talking to a real person was always more informative than talking to the search engines, and search engines could not replace a real person. But when search engines understand the concepts, it will send you information, not data. Till now, it's been sending you data that was a part of the database. But when it understands the concept, it will send you information about what you were looking for. And that information will not be limited to the keywords. It will be about the concept, about the topic. And Google will naturally favor all the content that it can understand because it already knows that content is more relevant to what the person is searching for. And of course, the content that it can't understand, it will be lesser in importance. So, as I said it earlier, and I can't put enough stress on it, make sure your content is understandable for Google. That's why the on-page optimization till now, which was all about just keywords, putting in keywords in a specific density, writing a whole lot of articles, targeting a whole lot of keywords, that is going to change. On-page optimization is going to be a bit more technical. On-page optimization is going to be a bit more about semantics. It will be a bit more about being found by Google and being understood by Google. And finally, I want to tell you how exactly Hummingbird will make a major difference to the search engine world. Firstly, the long tail keywords will have a better exposure. They will deliver more accurate results because Google understands the concepts and it can figure out what people are searching for, not just a phrase combination of 5 to 6 words, which would actually confuse Google earlier. And secondly, Hummingbird will enable Google to answer questions better. Google can now process what you want to know and it can give you better answers. It can give you more accurate answers, and you will be able to phrase your questions to Google in the form of a regular question. That is what context and semantics will do to search engine. It's going to change the way people search, and if that changes, you have to be updated so that you will be found by these people. Before you solve a problem, it's very important to understand it. That's why we need to understand how Hummingbird works and the technical bits behind it. That will help you use the measures that I suggest in the future lessons to solve your own unique problems, to implement your own unique solutions to the Hummingbird challenge that is now before you. Let's understand what's the core of Hummingbird, or what powers Hummingbird. Hummingbird is actually powered by a new Google technology called the Knowledge Graph. The Knowledge Graph is the world's biggest database of connected information. A little while ago, Google acquired a company called Freebase, which actually conceptualized the Knowledge Graph and started collecting information from the web and putting it together, establishing connections between the information. Now this technology, the knowledge graph technology, uses a special algorithm to find out how things are connected, what are the connecting points between the things. It sources its data from Freebase, which is still being updated regularly. It acquires its data from Wikipedia, which is of course the biggest source of information in the world over virtually every topic that you can imagine. But it's not limited to these two sources. Knowledge graph also gets its information from a lot of other sources which are constantly being updated and monitored. The knowledge graph actually connects the things as we've already discussed, as I've already told you, and with knowledge graph powering search, Google will be able to understand the topic, the relationship between the topics, and go beyond the search to give you better results for your search queries. Any discussion about Hummingbird is incomplete if you don't talk about the mobile web. The mobile web, or the shifting of internet users from the desktop or the PC format to mobiles, was one of the most compelling factors that created the need of something like Hummingbird. On a mobile phone, it's very frustrating to redo queries, searching for information again and again with different keywords, because the keypad is so small and you can't really be expected to type in the queries again and again. Google has tried to solve this problem partially using voice queries, but even that's not so accurate as it should be. That's why on the mobile phone, Google needs to get search right the first time, and that's where the future of internet is. Till now, this problem has not been solved. That's why you will notice a phenomena. Social is big on mobile. Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp, Skype, all of these tools are very, very popular on mobile phone, and in some cases, or in many cases I would say, these tools are being used more on the mobile phone than on the PC. But this is not true for search. For Google, most of the search queries are still coming from the PC format. Why is that so? Because the format of the search that Google has right now is not suitable for mobile, but it cannot afford to ignore the huge number of customers who are on the mobile and who want to find information on mobile. That's why Google has been evolving a mobile-centric strategy from a long time. Think about Android, think about voice search, and now Hummingbird. All of these are links in the chain of mobile search, or the future of internet. Hummingbird is an important step forward because it lets Google understand the concept and give users better results the first time, which is very important for mobile. And in the coming days, you will find this expanding more and more. You will get specialized tools for the mobile phone from Google. So be ready for it. Be mobile friendly. Design a website which is viewable on the mobile. That's very important for you. And take a cue from Google. Make mobile readiness a part of your internet strategy, and do it today.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and go to technicforce.com for more tools and training.